At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
Good evening, pardon me, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's broadcast of Stony Brook Seawolves hockey, live from the rinks in Hauppauge, New York. It's our second slate of doubleheader action here this weekend as the Seawolves look to put the final finishing touches on a sweep against Delaware this weekend. Mike Calandra here, back and ready to bring you the action. I'm all by myself today, so hope you guys are fine with that. Miss you, Trevor. We had a great time last night watching the Seawolves put up some big numbers and a huge result at the end of the night, winning 7-5 in an absolute back and forth barn burner that really had an abundance of things. We're talking about physicality, emotion, and really enticing goals. One of them being scored by Alex Skameka. But let's also look at some of the other aspects that we saw last night. Delaware's the Dom, as now I refer to him as, Dominic Guido, posting a hat trick. Now he's got 16 goals under his belt this season. As for Stony Brook, 2 players each going home with a pair of goals. One of them, the veteran big man, William Cormanic, and the newly added Kyle Smith, who most certainly will remember last evening for years to come. But a new day has dawned upon us as the lights fade out and the Seawolves get prepared for battle. Let the Who and Baba O'Reilly take you away. And as is now the new tradition, which was implemented last night, we got an air raid siren to get the fans pumped up. One member of the Stony Brook fan base will get the chance to ring that siren each period for the coming games in the future from here on out. But right now, as the two teams congregate in their respective zones, we'll turn the mic over to public address announcer Leon Bassett for this afternoon's pre-game opening ceremonies.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the starting line for a game between the Delaware women and the Stony Brook Seawolves. The starters for Delaware. Number 12, Shane Delaware. Number 3, Daniel Burke. Number 22, Ryan Rodriguez. Number 36, Tad Mahoney. Number 21, Justin Gallup. And in goal, number 35, Jacob Stellenberg. And these is the Stony Brook Seawolves! On defense, number 24, Dylan Kowalski. His defensive partner, number 46, Kevin Gately. The left corner, number 28, Kyle Escapade. The center, number 70, James Kazaki. The right winger, number 23, Justin Nakagawa. And in goal, number 29, Steven Regalado. At this time, we ask everyone to rise for the playing of our national
Stick taps sound in the rink as the conclusion of the pregame ceremony is met. Now the two teams will meet in front of their benches to hear one last strategy, as let's give a chance here to meet our starting netminders, beginning on the far end. Steven Reganato back in goal for the Stony Brook Seawolves as he attempts to pick up perhaps another shutout, because the last time he was starting in between the pipes on home ice, he recorded his first career shutout against Oswego State University. Opposite of him is Jacob Snellenberg, the Meadowbrook, Pennsylvania native, coming in with a record of 9-3-1 with an astounding 2.87 goals against average. This matchup is underway, and we'll have to see how these two goalies pan out in this pivotal best-of-two battle this weekend. As we saw last night, Scott Barnico and Tyler Roselle each having some big moments in nets. Roselle, 35 saves on 42 shots faced. Meanwhile, Scott Barnico picking up a big win at the end of the night, stopping 33 shots in total en route to the Seawolves reigning victorious over their bitter rivals as the Blue Hens work in their zone, trying to navigate out of their own territory. Kyle Smith on the ice for his first shift of the game. Christian Malik drops it to the trailer. Gately, now Connolly delivers it to Malik. Malik trying to squeak by everyone to no avail as Daniel Berg tries to push it out of harm's way. Nick Newman coming into the action. Offside's called here as Connolly couldn't keep it alive inside the zone. And there's Connolly right there, had himself a few big moments last night. And him and Smith, the newly added members of this Stony Brook Seawolves squadron, have already played a pivotal role in getting this team back on the right track as they come in riding on a 2-game win streak, which began last Sunday against Rhode Island, in which the Seawolves prevailed over the Rams. While Delaware comes into this matchup in their last 4 games, 2-2, breakaway chance, Paul DeZaro, great save, Jacob Snellenberg. First big stop of the night, and a big drive is denied by Snellenberg, who holds up. Back-to-back quick attacks by the Seawolves, nullified by Snellenberg, standing at 5'11". A former Atlanta Mad Hatter USPHL product, making his heavy presence felt in between the pipes for the Blue Hens as Kieran Gately races back to collect. Able to get it to Gretz, but couldn't muster up something beyond that as Delaware finds the possession in Stony Brook zone. Almost a bobble there by Reganato as Hudson DiNapoli tries to take charge here. That's going to allow Cooper Smith to race in, and he gets the steal there as Snellenberg elected to play it. Fortunately for him, no disaster inside the Blue Hen zone, but Stony Brook is trying to change that up real quick. However, it's the Blue Hens who flip it towards Stony Brook's nets, allowing them to bring out new reinforcements on the ice. Kowalski drops it in the trailer. Cooper Smith gonna get a clean feed on that one as Gately will restart from the back end. Stony Brook trying to transition cleanly through the neutral zone here. You have Delaware attempting to do the same as well as this one is sent wide. And Infanger will race back to position. Stony Brook, meanwhile, staying on the gas as James Kozicki looks to make an impact early on here. Instead, it's Infanger feeding it ahead to Early. And Ryan Rodriguez, who comes into this matchup with some big numbers under his belt, leading the team with 20 goals this season, picked up one on the power play last night for the Blue Hens, as this is going to be touched up for offsides. Ryan Rodriguez, the alternate captain, in his 4th season with the program, 69 goals in 117 games played as a member of the Delaware Blue Hens. As Malik and the Seawolves try to reset cleanly here, almost got picked off as Delaware holds him off at bay. Cormanic trying to administer some physicality here perhaps, and he does do just that against Guelph. Here's the Dom on the ice. Had himself quite the night. A hat trick and almost a nightmare ending for Stony Brook, who was able to hold off and win the matchup. 7-5, side of the net play, and Barnaco shut the door on Rodriguez. A great design attempt by the Blue Hens to get their latest scoring chance, their first one in this hockey game, the latest scoring chance of the weekend. They try to replicate what they did last night, in which they led 1-0 at the end of the first period. And plenty of time is still left to be played, though, here in this opening frame. And here is Andrew Lau on his horse, racing in. Lau trying to shield off from Kowalski. Keller rammed into by Newman as Dosing gets pinned up by Gately. Newman able to pick it free. Stony Brook looking to break out here, but it's been quite the challenge for them these last few minutes. Unable to get past the neutral zone cleanly. Here's Dolson. And Dolson got hammered into by Skameka. Alex Skameka scored himself a flashy goal last night. Just moments after the power play expired, Stony Brook had themselves an eventful evening on the power play. They were able to convert on one, courtesy of Justin Nakagawa, but a lot of those opportunities did not go their way, as one stick sits idle inside Stony Brook zone, becoming an obstacle for both teams. Hard battling along the wall, look out! A mighty check thrown. I think that was Cade Coughlin that got the best of one of the Seawolves. Did not see a number on who that was that descended to the ice as play continues on here in the first. Gately lifting it out of harm's way as DiNapoli heads to the bench. Here comes Strawbinger, who had a moment late in the contest in which he collided with one of the Seawolves, had to be attended to, but he is more than okay by all clear evidence with him on the ice. Here is Colin Wenrick, headed for some big things in his first year with the Seawolves, leading all defensemen on the team in assists and points. And there he is, trying to set something up, but once again, the Seawolves still having difficulty progressing ahead, as the breakout has just not been there. And Delaware's just been eating up each opportunity that the Seawolves have gotten, and maybe this is a change of scenery. Kyle Nestepny, almost a glorious goal there, as he was able to squeeze through the defense and get the latest scoring chance against Snellenberg, who ended up making the stop. All hands on deck right there for Delaware, as the Blue Hens will change things up on the ice. Dom Guido back in the fray as he'll take the next draw here against William Cormanic. Those two combining for 5 goals last night. And obviously the matchup being won by the captain, Guido, if you were to put those two in a head-to-head battle. Here's Justin Guelph able to squeak by to the goal, and he's stopped by Reganato, making his second save of the contest. And for Justin Guelph, he comes into this matchup trying to add more to his unprecedented point sheet this season. He comes into this weekend with a team high 26 assists. Last year led the team in points. The only question remains, what can he do here today to change things up for Delaware? As Guido takes over once again in the zone. Dolson knocked that one out of play. And the latest draw will take place inside Stony Brook zone. Actually, pardon me, that was Riley Donor, the left point man, who released the shots. The Hershey, Pennsylvania native in his final season here in game number 167 as a member of the Blue Hens. Gately has a man coming in with a head full of steam. That was Guido. Good interception made that time by Justin Nakagawa as he tries to lead the cavalry back into familiar territory. As Stepney remaining put on the ice after an animated sequence just a couple minutes prior. As the puck going out of play will result in this latest face-off draw taking place just a few feet away from the goal mouth, as Jacob Snellenberg gets himself equipped. Cormanic and Guido. Once again, it's Delaware winning the draw, able to get the bounce off the glass, putting them back in the zone. Dolson slammed against the boards that time by Haskins. Double team against Guido as the Seawolves showing their ferocious forechecking early on in the first. Watch out, another collision. Both players staying on their feet. Keller controlling, flipping it close to Lau, finding Guido. Guido couldn't pull the trigger cleanly as it went to the other boards. Went to the other side as Keller. Now Lau coming into the mix once again. Guido, and I believe that's Nick Newman. Got engaged there. One player tripped over someone. That was DeZaro. No call on the play as we remain 5 aside. Here's Keller trying to control it cleanly. Takes a hit as this is cleared out of the zone. Connolly recollecting, able to connect with DeZaro. DeZaro, who scored last night, trying to continue his offensive producing trend as Snellenberg holds up to stop play. As we get closer and closer to the halfway point of this first period, still no score and a clearly different pacing of hockey than what we saw last night. Yes, there are bodies banging, but it's not like what we saw in the first few moments from yesterday's first contest, in which the hits were coming at all angles that really set the tone of the game. Whereas here today, it's just a little less intense, but you best be sure that the is only going to elevate in just a matter of moments. Snellenberg makes another save. Connolly got the latest scoring chance off for Stony Brook as Gately comes back out onto the ice. Kieran Gately making himself quite the name for the Seawolves in his first year with the program. A massive return to the sport after dealing with a career-threatening quad injury and a big-time blast for the Seawolves. It's Nate LeGrette. Nate LeGrette collecting another goal this season. That's 6 now in 15 games played for the freshman. And the Caniagua native. It's clearly a different hockey game if you're on the Seawolves bench, as Stony Brook strikes first in this matchup, but Delaware may not be letting this one go without a fight. They surround the goal mouth. They surround the goal mouth. Now the Seawolves are going to surround the zone once again. Infanger. Here's Burke. Finding Infanger. And Infanger will take off. Or so I thought, as he lays this one in the zone deep for Rodriguez to try to play it. Instead, it's Nestepny putting everyone in the rinse cycle as he Houdinis himself away from pressure. And Nestepny still going with that ferocious demeanor as Reganato catches the puck in the air in his glove, holding up with 8.5 remaining here in the first. Shots on goal, 9-4 Stony Brook, one of them besting Snellenberg, courtesy of the drive off the draw. And it's where things stand. You got Teddy Valenti back in the lineup after missing last night's matchup. He's paired up alongside Joey Trezera there, a Texas native. And a Presso on the ice for the Blue Hens. Here's Guelph re-engaging in the zone. Guelph trying to put everyone in the rinse cycle here. As Keller couldn't clear it back the other way, and it leads to Trezera, and the Seawolves getting back in. Nestepny pinned up against the boards. Here's Cormanic with a shot and a glove saved by Snellenberg to stop play. And Cormanic coming in at the right time. And he'll be ready to take the draw here. It's won by the Seawolves. Wenrick lost it. And a hard-charging Andrew Lau trying to switch things up here for the Blue Hens. But instead, it's Wenrick and the Seawolves continuing to give the Blue Hens a challenge here as they lead 1-0 as we get our first penalty of the night, or I should say of the afternoon, signaled. And it's the Seawolves who will head to the power play first. Wenrick looking to elude everyone as he gets in the zone. And this will be touched up by Dosen to stop play. And with 7:06 left in the first, Riley Dosen will take a seat in the sin bin for 2 minutes, giving Stony Brook a chance to convert here in the first on an early power play. Brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates. Last night it was Justin Nakagawa who went home with the team's only power play goal out of all their attempts on the man advantage last night. And we'll just have to see how they do here early on as they got the momentum on their side, leading 1-0. Wenrick playing catch at the top. Quick puck movement here at the before Delaware was able to force him out. And Trevor Early not letting off. Wenrick was able to create some space. Now he's got a lot of room to distribute. Finds Cormanic. Cormanic bounces off his man and allows Wenrick to set things up cleanly with Desaro. Wenrick fires, save, rebound, score! Snipe City, William Cormanic on the power play. And you want to talk about being in the right place at the right time. William Cormatic provided just what the Seawolves needed to extend their lead here in the first period. And a clear message sending performance being put on by Stony Brook this weekend. As to say to all of their ACHA opponents, and most importantly their division rivals, that we're not out of this thing just yet. And there's still a lot of hockey left to be played before the season is all said and done. We get penalty signaled here. Hooking is the call, but it's the Seawolves who will sit for two, and it's Justin Nakagawa who will head off the ice. And for Delaware, a great sight to see for them as they trail 2-0. And it's exactly what they need to try to get some leverage here in this first period as time continues to wind down here in the first. They worked around the perimeter at the top. Stony Brook, though, an admirable job at forcing them out of the zone. Rodriguez able to shake by one. Rodriguez trying to elude everyone as he gets to the goal. Can't get the shot off just yet as he plays it back to the point. Delaware quickly moving it around the zone. One-timer missing wide off the stick of Rodriguez, inadvertently taking Delaware out of the zone. Stony Brook in the middle of a line change as the Blue Hens looking to reset cleanly, taking advantage of all the open space in front of them. Guido in front, kick save Regattato as it was pushed aside. Delaware keeping it in the zone. Guelph, Guido through traffic, couldn't get on it. One player descending to the ice. There's Rodriguez. Guido. Fire wagon feeds all around in the zone for Delaware as Guelph and Guido trade spots. Guido keeping it under his control. Or pardon me, that was Guelph. Here's Dosen. Dropping it down low behind the goal. Rodriguez plays it back to Guido. Guido being hounded by two Seawolves now. Diaz stepping in. Diaz in front, score! Ryan Rodriguez. That's number 21 for number 22 this season. And the Madman's got himself another for the Blue Hens. His second goal of the weekend. And it's a one-goal game. With Delaware and Stony Brook each cashing in on their respective power plays. Straubinger backhanded it, got it in the zone. Straubinger trying to wheel it in front, batted on. Dosen with the latest chance. Regattato unfazed. And the face-off draw will reside once again inside Stony Brook zone. Colin Wenrick, Joey Trezera back into the action. Back in the action as the two teams equip their stars for the latest face-off draw inside Stony Brook's territory, and it's won back by Delaware. Berg floats it in front off the pad of Regattato as Trezera tries to escape cleanly. Delaware not allowing him to do just that. Blue Hens continuing to stay aggressive here. Steal made by Dosen, but runs into heavy traffic courtesy of multiple Seawolves. Here's Guido playing in front. No one was home. Dosen, though, still fighting hard against Trezera. Descending to the ice as Stony Brook tries to escape the zone. Newman played it back. And it's Joey Trezera letting things breathe for a moment. Almost turned over there. Great positioning by Lau as Skameka takes off in the zone, down the wing, charging hard. Forced wide, dancing, able to connect with Legret, who sends it down low to DiNapoli. DiNapoli, centering feed, wouldn't go, and it forced Stony Brook all the way out of the zone for Kowalski to recollect. Gately finding DiNapoli. Stony Brook, hard charging chance, and it's stopped by Snellenberg, who holds up. 3:05 to go, 2-1 the 3:05 to go, 2-1 the score. The advantage, Stony Brook. But inch by inch, it's becoming very close than how we initially thought it would go. As Delaware is going to throw it in deep. Blue Hens working in the zone. Shot from the top, deflected in front. Missed wide. Good chance for the Blue Hens as they attempt to tie this baby up at 2. Hard checks being laid here in the zone as Keller slaps it down low. Side of the net chance wouldn't go for the Blue Hens as Stony Brook attempts to break out, but cannot do just that. Blue Hens looking to counteract the other way. Neither team able to get through the neutral zone cleanly. Burke having trouble doing the same, and it allows Nakagawa to gain the zone, finding Kozicki, finding the late man Nistepny, who sent it wide. Kept in on the hard rushing Wenrick. Kozicki dropping it down low, trying to find Nistepny. As the quarreling in Delaware zone continues. Nakagawa, Wenrick from the top, save. Snellenberg holding the Seawolves at bay. Interference called here against Wenrick. It was clear as day right there. An ill-timed hit thrown by Wenrick. That knocked down Chance DeBolt to give Delaware another opportunity here on the power play, in which they were successful the last time around, courtesy of the goal by Ryan Rodriguez, who is out there yet again trying to hammer home another one. At the point, Rodriguez controlling, holding, delaying, finding Donor. Slap feet in front, almost ricocheted off a body there. Rodriguez eluding. Guelph. There's Guelph. Finds Donor with a chance, blocked in front. Got a piece of the skate of Trezera as we reach the final minute of play in the first. Guido, Rodriguez, those two trading spots. Guido holding. Donor. Guido looking to step into one, save, rebound, loose in the crease, scramble ensuing, but the Blue Hens keep it under control. Rodriguez from the top, big block made by William Cormanic, and that should give Stony Brook some life on the penalty kill at least, as they clear the puck out of the zone, but the Blue Hens resetting rather quickly as time continues to wind down here ever so considerably. Guelph trying to pick up another assist here in the first. Berg firing, save, rebound, a tie-up inside the goal mouth, negating Delaware from scoring, and an inadvertent feed out of the zone takes Delaware away from catching in late, and the power play will carry over to the second period with 32 seconds left on the Wenrick interference call. The Seawolves lead 2-1. And after 20 minutes of play, we've seen some great hockey, and we got plenty of more coming along the way as the intermission break begins. And this will give us a time to step aside. Thank you for tuning in to Stony Brook Seawolves Hockey Live, and we'll be back after the short intermission.
Seawolf fans, please welcome the ice crew back to the ice and get
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Intermission break is over. And now we await for both teams to return to the ice to get this second period going. And to catch you all up to speed, this is what happened last period. Stony Brook on top, leading 2-1 over the Blue Hens, courtesy of back-to-back unanswered goals from, starting with Nate Legret, a slapper off, a very quick face-off draw in the Blue Hen zone, followed up a few minutes later by William Cormanic banging home his 11th goal of the season on the power play. But it wouldn't take long for the Blue Hens to convert on a power play of their very own a few moments later, courtesy of Ryan Rodriguez, the goal-scoring machine on the Blue Hens, picking up his 21st of the season, continuing to lead his team in that category as the officials get the nets all situated. Chris Garofalo looking on as his team aims to pick up a third consecutive win dating back to last Sunday when they defeated the Rhode Island Rams, bouncing back from the loss in overtime to them just the day before. And here they are riding on a wave of momentum all of a sudden as we close in on the final chapter of this season with the ACHA divisional playoffs and national tournament looming later this season, or later next month. The air raid siren sounds as the Seawolves and Blue Hens take the ice. Second period should be a fun one. It's been a tightly contested battle so far, with the score being what it is, and also the racing shots on goal, with each goaltender getting their workload in. Stony Brook up 13-12 in that category. The benches settling in. The goalies loosening up one last time before we get this second period underway, and it will start under 5-on-4 conditions due to the remaining 32 seconds left on Colin Wenrick's penalty. And here we go. Dosen with the toss in deep, and it's covered up by Reganato, and Riley Donor with the first shot on goal this period, evening up the shots on goal in this contest. Stony Brook able to win the draw this time around. They'll further get the clear down to the length of the ice. Getting new reinforcements on the ice for them. And this is Ryan Rodriguez with a head full of steam, coming in, trying to evade. Tossing that one aggressively to the other side as the Blue Hens try to work at the top. Guelph finds Rodriguez. Rodriguez switching spots. We're back to five aside. Donor, great look down low. Guelph couldn't contain the bouncing feed cleanly, and it's going to allow Stony Brook to clear out of the zone. Wenrick and the Seawolves trying to generate another scoring chance for them as they lead 2-1. Donor roughed up along the glass, and here's trouble. Dom Guido rushing in on the attack. Save Reganato. Hard crash in the end boards for Guido. Back up on his feet, fortunately, as Guelph tries to dance to a goal to no avail. and it's cleared away by the Seawolves. That was a hard landing for Guido, face first into the boards as Stony Brook moves in, trying to attack as Desaro was held off there. Great pressuring done by Guido. The heavy back-checking front man for the Blue Hens, trying to continue his wave of momentum this weekend. Great save by Reganato on the captain of the Blue Hens, as Dosen looks to recharge here for Delaware. Wow, in trouble as Connolly gets roughed up along the glass. Blue Hens keeping it in the zone, or so I thought, as Lau has to race back and try to shield from the attacking Desaro. Here's Penepresso, lifting that one into the catching glove hand of Reganato, who's going to stop play. Cody Diaz set to take the draw here in his 26th game of the season. Valencia eluding his man and connecting with Legret, who found Cooper Smith bursting in. Far wing feed, save! A great chance for the Seawolves, nullified that time by Snellenberg. And the hard battling continuing on in the neutral zone between the two foes. Legret loading up against Coughlin as those two are in a quarrel of their very own. Oh! Heavy check thrown by Coughlin. That time got all of Legret as the physicality continues to ramp up ever so considerably. Long range dump in is going to find the end boards for icing that time. Not a very thought out plan that time for the Blue Hens. But perhaps it was a call of panic as the Seawolves were coming in with new fresh faces on the ice, and some tired Blue Hens needed something to calm down the play. And so the face-off draw taking place in the zone here. Good block made, but it's kept alive by the Seawolves. Trezera able to connect with Smith, who found Gately. Gately and Smith playing catch near the top as Cormanek drips to the wall. Cormanek moving down low, looking to twist one on, and he couldn't do it that time as Snellenberg holding his own there. Shots still matched at 16 apiece. Newman settling in here against Infanger as the Blue Hens able to win the draw but not able to clear the zone. Stony Brook working at the top. Gately couldn't twist it across. Blue Hens, though, having trouble exiting the zone, and this one ricochets off a stick into the boards. It went almost pinballing back in front as Straubinger now is able to flip it out as it got some help off the catching glove hand of Skameka. Here's Trezera coasting back and recollecting. Trezera dropping it in the trailer. Gately finds Newman. Skameka moving over to keep the play progressing for Stony Brook, but it's Delaware doing their parts at holding off the Seawolves at bay. But Stony Brook staying on the gas, continuing to be relentless against this very physical Blue Hens front. And I mean very physical, as Guido continues to charge up here, and another hit thrown by Guido. That time he got DeZero, and a big check thrown on Early. Score! Kyle Nestepny. And as my broadcast partner Trevor Magnani would say, an absolute laser beam. And it's 3-1 as Nestepny, who almost scored earlier on in the previous period in a big way, catches in mightily here in the second to extend the Seawolves lead. And they discuss that on the Seawolves bench while the men in stripes have a conference of their very own right in front of the scoring timekeepers area. As we did see Trevor Early go down rather intensely to the ice as if he was hit with some illegal contact. But unless they have some conclusive evidence without using instant replay, then this goal is going to stand, with Stony Brook leading comfortably now 3-1. And although the lead is going to remain intact for Stony Brook, they're going to definitely have their hands full going forward, as this Blue Hens team, you can feel them becoming exasperated minute by minute, shift by shift, as Stony Brook has the advantage in this contest so far. And the goal by Nestepny, a big one. His 7th of the year. And he's out for more, bulldozing through the heavy body of Donor that time, as the Blue Hens looking to redeem themselves here. As Stony Brook continues the chase against Delaware. Reganado playing that one rather dangerously behind the goal as play continues in the zone. Drive in front, blocked off the chest of Reganado. Stony Brook looking to break out here. Seawolves busting ahead. Nestepny off to the bench, able to get that clear in to bring out new reinforcements to the battle. Offsides called here. An ill-timed entry that time by the Blue Hens, negating what could have been an opportunity for them to get another scoring chance under their belts. And instead, it's Stony Brook being provided with the advantage of the location of possession, but it's Delaware not giving up without a fight. As Lau and the Blue Hens look to regroup. Klingly, big check laid on Lau by the big man Cormanic. Seawolves have everything going right for them at this time. Administering pain both on the score sheet and in the physicality department. As Trezera tries to shield from multiple players on the Blue Hens. Stony Brook continuing to work hard here. DiNapoli flying in with a chance, bouncing off a body, and Trezera nearly got a hold of that rebound there. And I mean it, the physicality is elevating. Here's a chance at front! And that may have gotten a piece of Reganato, and I think it did, judging by the reaction from the Seawolves bench. Stony Brook hot on the gas, and another chance missing wide from DiNapoli. Here's Kowalski stepping in. Couldn't get a clean shot off as it got blocked. Pardon me, that was Wenrick who's going to race back, and he's going to collect to stop play as that was signaled for icing. Blue Hens finding themselves in a precarious position as Stony Brook will ought to take advantage of the tired Delaware players that are left in their zone, looking to win this face-off draw and keeping Stony Brook away from the goal. As for Stony Brook, more of the same. Keep on trucking along. Keep on bearing down. Stick to the status quo. It's got everything going right for them at this time. And here's another example of that. Keeping the puck in the zone. Newman on the chase. Big chance. And Snellenberg with the stop. And the frustration beginning to show ever so considerably by the Blue Hens. And for Delaware, it's understandable to be frustrated, but the last thing you want to have is your key components, the guys that carry the muscle on the offense, to find themselves losing control of their emotions and costing more opportunities as a battle ensues in front. The last thing you want is your top players losing their cool. And for Delaware, it's something they can't afford. So they battle hard here. Big drive missing wide by Early. And here's Connolly. Right place, right time. Putting on the brakes. Not able to connect with an open man as the change was already in progress for the Seawolves. Here's Nakagawa. Oh, he's belted in the glass that time by Rodriguez. A stick breaks, and that was Connolly, who shows his frustration about that on the bench. Kowalski belted hard to the ice as he was steamrolled by the captain Guido. Big chance kicked away by Snellenberg. Gately can't keep it alive in the zone. It's going to give Delaware a chance to push ahead cleanly, but it's not to be found there. They'll get another opportunity again. And once again, another interception. But Guido able to spin things around almost, resulting in the goal there for Rodriguez. Chance from the top, missing over the net. Nearly catching the head of Rodriguez that time. As Kozicki backhands it out of harm's way for a clear. Berg and the Blue Hens looking to reset rather cleanly and quickly. Nakagawa in the ringer right now. Bam! Justin Nakagawa floors the captain. And he heads off to the bench. And if you're the Seawolves, you got to be loving every moment of how this hockey game has gone for them. As not only are they staying disciplined and not letting the emotions get the best of them, and the chippiness that Delaware's showing rattle them at any point. They're staying to their game and being tough while doing just so. And here we go. Kyle Smith, William Kormanek. Involved. Started with Kormanek, and it's ending with Smith escalating it, but the officials doing their part at de-escalating the situation, extinguishing it quickly, and the temperature in this contest only rising ever so considerably as the Seawolves have the Blue Hens number. And a high stick is gonna, so I thought it was gonna stop play, but it's Blue Hens with an advantage, missing over the net. Another opportunity, another save by Regalado, and out of the zone it goes. Quick puck movement here by the Blue Hens as they try to get back on the right track. Seawolves have them rattled in all aspects, and it's affecting their performance in such a way where they just cannot push through on these scoring chances and even the physical elements. Keller over the net and wide. Nakagawa heavily boomed into the boards, back on his feet, or pardon me, that was Haskins. Wenrick going to chase over to the other end as the Blue Hens keep it alive in the zone. And back it goes into that same location. Keller got batted into. And this is wheeled wide off the stick of Coughlin. And that is going to be signaled out of play as we close in on the final 8 minutes of play here in the second. A strong first period for the Seawolves, and that trend has only gotten a strong first period for the Seawolves, and that trend has only improved ever so here in the second. It's reaching new heights as we've gotten to see some massive checks get thrown, which has benefited Stony Brook as it's clearly taking the Blue Hens off their game. And although we haven't seen any retaliatory penalties called against them, it's only a matter of time. Skemeka sent it wide. Kiernan Gately found DeZaro, who finds Newman. Nick Newman. Seawolves back in the zone as Newman lays it in deep to DeZaro. DeZaro being hounded there by Straubinger. DeZaro back to Gately. Gately, fadeaway chance, fought away by Snellenberg. Coughlin able to wheel it out of harm's way, but Kowalski delivers it right back. And that's going to result in an ensuing line change for both squads. Here's Berg. Long-range sauce cut off there by the catching hand of Trezera. And Smith and the Seawolves continuing to do their parts at keeping the Blue Hens at bay. Valenti, DiNapoli coming together there. Valenti batting it back towards the zone as the Seawolves still not allowing the Blue Hens to execute and only forcing them to commit these icings as the Blue Hens finding themselves in a deeper hole than ever before. And although it's a 2-goal game, the cracks continue to show, and now it's a 3-goal game. And that's the third of the weekend for Kyle Smith. It is 4-1 Stony Brook. Nakagawa and Mike and Rodriguez quarreling immediately off the draw. And you just have a feeling that this thing is going to blow open in just a matter of moments, give or take. Nakagawa. Here's Guelph. Hard charging attack, missing wide for the Blue Hens forward. Guelph not able to receive the second chance as Nakagawa attempts to escape the zone, but it's kept alive by the Blue Hens. Tossed on that save, rebound, and the opportunity couldn't be found cleanly by Rodriguez, who is swarmed, held down in front by Kozicki. The battle continues inside the zone. Guelph diving as he able to keep it alive. Regalado, though, in the meantime, has to capture his stick that was ripped out of his hand in that brief scrum. And here's Lau firing over the nets. May have gotten a piece of Kowalski there, which changed the course of direction of the latest scoring chance that time. Haskins flipping it deep, and Stepney with the touch-up, and offsides was called. 4.5 to go here in the second period. Shots on goal, 25-22, Stony Brook. Todd Mittelmeyer. Trying to keep the troops composed here as they continue to struggle. Score! Oh, is that beautiful or once? There's an old adage. If you don't succeed at first, try again. Hudson DiNapoli, or Alex Skameka in this case, finding his own rebound and jamming it home to make it a 5-1 contest. Skameka, a big weekend for him, his second timeout called by Todd Mittelmeyer as the Blue Hens are being ran out of this hockey game minute by minute. 5 goals in 14 games played for Skemeka. Both of them equally mesmerizing in different ways. Last night evidently was a more prettier goal as he was able to evade the defender, practically one hand on his stick, pull it back to his forehand, and roof it top shelf. Whereas today, keen eye awareness and great hockey IQ, following up on the rebound, not giving up on the play. And here the Seawolves are applying that method to this latest shift with 4 minutes to go, courtesy of Cooper Smith. And you can see the Blue Hens desperate to try to get a goal here and perhaps do whatever they can to take Stony Brook off their game. And if it means pushing more of the physical front over the scoring page, then that's what they'll have to do. But it seems like Stony Brook has everything all assembled. Remaining aggressive, but not allowing the tempers and the extracurriculars get the best of them. Big chance blocked in front, and Kozicki is going to push it out of harm's way as a broken stick lays idle behind the goal. And it looked like there was going to be an icing here against Stony Brook, which would have been exactly what the Blue Hens will want, but instead it's Delaware trying to claw their way back in the zone, and Rodriguez barreled into Gately there. Here comes Cormanic. A flip in deep as he tries to add another one on his goal-scoring resume this weekend. He's got 3 in the last 20 hours or so. Nearly couldn't clear out. Newman drops it to Malik, who gives it back to Kowalski. And this gets cleared away by Burke. Penepresso, as Seawolves attempting to break out here once more. Kyle Smith feeds it in front. Bounced off the stick and went over the nets. Nick Newman dropped to the ice, but nothing escalates beyond that. And that is certainly a testament to the change in scenery on the Seawolves bench. That is something we haven't really heavily put attention on, but this team did a lot in the offseason. Chris Garofalo bringing back some key figures that have had an impact on the team. In the last couple of years or so. The behind the bench standpoint, you got Andrew Vegalucci, who was a proud member of the Seawolves coaching staff, in which they won their latest divisional championship back in 2022. And then, of course, you got Matvey Kazakov. A great mind when it comes to the goaltending play. And here's Stony Brook. A lot of things just couldn't be any better at this time. Connolly. Rammed into that time as this is cleared out of the zone. Burke plopping it back in deep. Connolly ripping it around the wall, finding Nakagawa, and the Seawolves trying to break out here for one last chance before the buzzer sounds. Kozicki pinned up against the boards. Stepney, one-timer, score! Bombs away, Justin Nakagawa. An absolute missile off the iron and in past Snellenberg. And he too has himself a pair of goals this weekend. Nakagawa, his 9th of the year, has made it 6-1 Stony Brook. On to the third period. Seawolves leading massively. Steven Reganato praised for his efforts there by his team as they exit the ice. And we will step aside as well. You're watching Stony Brook Seawolves hockey on YouTube. We'll be back for the third period after this.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we welcome you back. Third period, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start that over. And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. Third period upon us. And Stony Brook is performing outstandingly, leading 6-1. Meanwhile, for Delaware, it's anything but that. And the way you can describe this weekend for them, it's been a rather cataclysmic collapse for the Blue Hens as they entered this weekend ranked higher than the Seawell as they rank. Well, what? All right. Yeah, I'm like losing my train of thought right now, but it's all good. There's a lot going on though. There's a lot going on in this hockey game right now, ladies and gentlemen, and do not worry, we have you all set for the third period, and we are underway. 20 more minutes of hockey to go. Stony Brook performing outstandingly, leading 6-1, thanks to a barrage of unanswered goals last period, with the goals coming from an abundance of players on the Seawolves. Names like Kyle Smith, Kyle Nastepny, Justin Nakagawa, just to name a few. And as for Delaware, it's been anything but that, and the best way to describe how this weekend has gone for them has been cataclysmic. Cataclysmic disaster. And for them, they are just looking to get through the period and finish out the weekend. And it is obviously not the way they wanted it to go. Ranked 23rd now in the ACHA after falling from 22 due to a split weekend performance, whereas Stony Brook has gained the momentum needed to fire down the stretch and play for some crucial playoff position. The storylines getting ever so intense as we reach the end of the hockey season, which will happen in the coming weeks. As the Seawolves, as I mentioned last night, they will hit the road for a weekend affair against Ohio in the Bobcats' backyard for a two-game slate in Athens before returning to the island for what should be a pivotal home matchup against another one of their ACHA rivals. That being the Pittsburgh Panthers. And that game will take place on Saturday, February 1st at 7 p.m. And we will have you covered for that matchup and the following matchup the next day right here on Stony Brook Seawolves Hockey YouTube, your home for all the action. Rodriguez swiping away on the backhand, but got nothing on it. And Rodriguez back to his feet, trying to set something up here as Delaware continuing to play disastrous hockey right now in this contest, in which at no point they led in this game. Yesterday, a different story, which was quickly quieted down altogether by the Seawolves, with them winning 7-5, whereas here today, it's been all Seawolves. A lack of noise on the front by Delaware, and maybe one could say they've used all the energy allotted to them this weekend from the hat-trick performance by Dominic Guido, as the Seawolves continuing to keep the Blue Hens at bay, fighting off numerous attacks here, and another one now Stony Brook can exhale at this time. They got a lot of room to distribute the possession here. And all the room. Gately. Kozicki couldn't connect there with Cooper Smith, who has yet to score on home ice, but you best be sure, folks, it is going to come before you know it. A great play here by William Kormanek. Well, that chance goes skyward into the netting to stop play. And William Kormanek, what a season for him. Last year he was on a roll before dealing with injuries that sidelined him for the rest of the campaign. Underwent surgery, battled through rehab, and here he is. Hasn't looked better than ever before. Averaging a point per game, and that trend has only elevated here this weekend, as he has scored 3 goals against the Blue Hens on home ice in the year of 2025. Colin Wenrick. No icing there that time, as he remains put on the ice. Wenrick has awfully been quiet this weekend, but it still doesn't take away from the contributions he has made so far this season, leading all defensemen on the Seawolves in points with 11. Here's Haskins from the top. That one ricocheted wide as Newman tries to get a hold of the possession here. Here's Haskins grabbing in the neutral zone. Couldn't get a strong flip that time. Bam! Early getting all of Haskins. Those two staying on their feet. Trevor Early, now Dom Guido back in the action. Hot off the bench, missing wide on that chance. Paul DeZaro entered this weekend 3rd in points on the team. The number has grown by a small margin after the goal last night he scored. And the Seawolves 7-5 rout over the Blue Hens. Nakagawa stashing that one off the boards, as it's been a different pace of hockey at this period, and rightfully so. But the Seawolves leading 6-1. Both teams are now just looking ahead at what's next. And as I previously stated before, Stony Brook's got a date with Ohio next weekend in Athens. And Delaware, the same for them, as they'll look to bounce back from the back-to-back losses this weekend against their next opponents. Here's Cooper Smith. DiNapoli. Oh, wow. Took a couple of bounces there. One off the shoulder of King and off the crossbar. Net off its moorings after the contact between Guido against Legretz. Jacob King going for his skates as he comes in on behalf of Snellenberg. A rough outing for Snellenberg. 6 goals allowed in this one as Jacob King takes over. 6-0, 180 from Vemen, New Jersey. Record of 2-0, 1.62 goals against average. So by looking at that, from that perspective, you gotta feel confident if you're at Delaware just to get through the rest of this contest. Mitigates as many more goals as possible that won't do serious damage to them in the ACHA rankings, but it's safe to say the damage has been more than done this weekend. And with the way Stony Brook is going to win this game, it's definitely going to put a dent in their hopes of being among one of the top teams in the ACHA for weeks to come. Askins floating that one in deep. Meanwhile, for the Seawolves, this is exactly what they envisioned. A season that had the propensity to turn out just like this. Change in the culture, both in the locker room, on the bench, and in the foundation in which this team has been long assembled. Here they are. Leading 6-1 as Berg's chance misses there. A stick continues to remain idle as an obstacle inside the zone. As Diaz's chance got blocked, looking to redeem himself, kick save and a beauty by Reganato. And for Steven Reganato, it's just another big outing for him. His first go around he was magnificent until the wheels came off at the end at Rhode Island. Snatched victory at the hands of the feet of the Seawolves in OT. That was before The long road trip in which the Seawolves split the weekends with both Syracuse and Delaware. A bounce-back performance that'll be looked at by Regginato in such a positive light here today, as this will not only be a considerable confidence booster for him going forward, as he'll be one of the men to look out for in years to come, stepping up when Scott Barnico eventually closes the door on his playing career later in the coming weeks. But it's this performance that is just what the Seawolves need to look and be proud about, to contend for another divisional title, and better yet, chance at a run for the national championship. And there are some very much deserving players on this squad who have been on this team for quite some time that deserve to go out on top in such a big way. Names like Andrew Mancini and Brendan Fess. Those two have each contributed massively, each winning a divisional title in 2022, alongside Scott Barnico, who played the role of understudy for Matvei Kazakov, who now looks from the bench as the goaltending coach, proud of the contributions he's made, both as a player and now as a member of the staff. As this chance misses for the Blue Hens. Another opportunity, score! The shot from the top by Burke, and help in front to make it 6-2. And for Brady Burke, if that is indeed his goal, it would be his first of the season, his first of his career in game number 26 this season. And Andrew Lau and the Blue Hens are looking to bear down here for another one and maybe put the Seawolves on edge. But they got themselves in quite a difficult spot here, because not only do they trail by a large margin, they also have to battle against the clock. And that clock is winning that battle minute by minute, shift by shift. Down the wing goes Cormanic. Ooh, and he's going to take a penalty against Berg for high sticking. And this will give Delaware a late game power play. And maybe a chance at scoring a power play goal to at least cushion up the margin of the score here, so it doesn't hurt them anymore in the rankings. But this defeat is going to impact them surely. They work at the top. Rodriguez, kick save, Regginato, and a clear down to the length of the ice from Stony Brook as we reach the final 5 minutes of the contest. It's Rodriguez and Guelph on the ice once again for the Blue Hens. Dom Guido. An eventful Saturday night, a quiet afternoon on Sunday, as him and his team work on the power play for the remaining 4.5 minutes. A little over a minute left to go on the man advantage for Delaware. Their third of the contest. They were successful the first time around, back in the first, on the goal by Ryan Rodriguez. They continue to struggle to put another one home as we reach the final 4 minutes of the contest. Donor from the top, and Reganado making the stop, but not without Rodriguez getting engaged there with one of the Seawolves, and the officials making sure nothing escalates beyond just that, as we'll get set for another face-off draw. And Steven Reganado, just a solid performance. Some flashy moments, a lot of bright spots, and things for the Seawolves to look on and be hopeful about, as their chances of getting a higher seed in both the divisional playoffs and in the national rankings just continues to grow minute by minute here. The margin of the goals in this contest helps a lot, but also them defeating a better ranked opponent is going to do more for them than it can ever could. And Delaware, with that, will go 1 for 2 on the man advantage today, as Stony Brook successfully kills off the latest penalty. 3 minutes to go. Bam! Alex Skameka roughed up in the neutral zone there by Dosen. And now we'll just have to wait and see if anything reaches a boiling point in these final minutes of play. Lead feed couldn't reach the stick of Early, but Delaware was able to still get a chance off that. Reganado made the stop. Another keep in, Bird, save Reganado. Early bashed into the boards. There won't be an empty awning this time around for Stony Brook, as Delaware is all but in this contest for the remaining minutes. Bam, another hit. And Skameka got dropped that time. It's another. And here's Kowalski. Kowalski beats it. Couldn't get it across to his intended target. And Stony Brook is going to chase back and recollect. Colin Wenrick. Pardon me, no. Teddy Valenti. Back in the lineup after missing in action last night. Minute and a half to go. And Skameka got floored there by Brady Burke. Or was that Nate Legret? Either way, Delaware not leaving the ice without sending one last message. DeZaro with the heavy check against the captain. Here's Dom Guido. Guido barreled into Trezera. As Stony Brook will continue to ride on this wave of momentum. as they gear up for what should be a very much anticipated battle in Athens against the Ohio Bobcats, as the Seawolves of Stony Brook sweep the Delaware Blue Hens 7-5 last night, 6-2 this afternoon, and they continue to win in such big ways. 3 consecutive victories dating back to last Sunday when they defeated the Rams. And this was a much-needed course of direction for the Seawolves as they look to climb up in the rankings with the playoffs and the national tournament looming in the coming months. But for now, we're going to let the handshakes tell the story. Steven Reginato with the victory. And a great weekend of hockey has come to a conclusion. We'll see you guys, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you in 2 weeks when Stony Brook takes on Pitt. But for now, we'll say so long, good night. Mike Calandra, Jacob Koch, Trevor Magnani, we miss you. You're here with us in spirits. Thank you, and good night.